Here in Great Western on a really, really special day, King's birthday, the first King's birthday actually for a lot of us. But I'm catching up with Kerryn Manning. Firstly, Kezi, hello.
Hello, Paulie.
Congratulations are well and truly in order. You got recognised on the King's birthday today, and you got an order of OAM anyway. Do you know exactly what it stands for? Order of Australia Medal. Oh, well done. You're going better. You're going a lot better than me. What an honour.
Yeah, pretty cool. Bit unexpected, but yeah, it's a bit of a feather in the cap.
You say it was unexpected. You told me this morning you knew for a couple of days you had to stay mum on it. What was your initial reaction when they rang you?
I just got an email from them. I got an email a few weeks back just to say I'd been nominated and would I accept the award if it came to fruition. And I just wrote, yeah, of course I will. And then I just had to wait to hear, and they emailed me probably, 4 or 5 days ago just to say I had received one and just not to say anything until it came out officially today.
And I got a message from your sister. I don't know how early she gets up, but I think it was about 6:30. She sent a message through. She was very, very proud. What time did the messages start flying in? Because I know you've been fielding them all day. Of congratulations.
Yeah, actually last night I was up pretty late, and Andrew Bensley had tweeted around about midnight. So yeah, it started pretty early, and then my phone's been going crazy all day. I hadn't had a chance to get back to everybody until this afternoon because I'd been a bit busy. But it was a bit humbling, all the messages I received from people, and I'd like to thank them all for their lovely thoughts.
Definitely, and if anyone's wondering, this horse here, the one on the other side, that's actually Nelson. He's not in the picture, unfortunately, because he's just got out of it. We tried to get him into it. He's a little bit field shy. He doesn't... no, he's there. He is there. He doesn't get a lot of media attention. But this is Ovarian's. He's probably the horse, I suppose, that started your career in harness racing, although it was always going to start, but he really sort of springboarded it to where it is now. You owe a lot to him. It's great the relationship you two do have, isn't it?
He's pretty cool. He's turning 31 this year, so he's been here for a while. He cost me $500, my first horse I'd owned. And yeah, he paid for the house over there, so he's pretty special. He's got a fond place in my heart, and he's I don't know how much longer he's got left, but he'll live out his days, and he's always well cared for.
No, he is well cared for, and he is very spoiled, that's for sure. You've got the award, Gez, for significant, I read that word 100 times and had no worries with it, service to harness racing and to ovarian cancer awareness. Your contribution to harness racing, I know the answer, I think, to this. Do you, I suppose, ever dwell on what you do, or is it just sort of... what is just cares?
Yeah, it's just, I guess, a job, I suppose. So it's kind of cool that you get to do what you do anyway, and then get some pretty cool awards along the way that you don't expect to get. So, yeah.
When you started out with Ovarians and that, were you chasing awards? Was there ever a dream for Kerryn Manning? Like when you started this journey, did you ever want to drive 100 winners, or did you want to was there a goal that you wanted to get to?
Not really. I was just keen to get out there and have a crack. Certainly, when you're young, it's all you want to do is get a winner. So, got that pretty early on in my third race drive. So, was lucky to tick that off quickly, and then. Yeah, just progressed from there, working the 2-year-olds with Dad. We used to work a lot of 2-year-olds, and had a lot of good horses to drive over the years. And this sort of, I owe a lot of my awards to a lot of different people who have helped me over the years. It's not just a one-man band. It's a lot of effort goes in by a lot of people. So.
Timing can be everything. He's had enough of his medium. Nelson says I'm in. Timing can be everything. You said there before about working a lot of 2-year-olds with Dad, and basically the partnership you and your dad formed. It was perfect timing, I suppose, for a young person coming into the industry. And we were looking at some of the photos there before, and some of the older horses down at Mum and Dad's house, and that you've been associated with so many great horses, haven't you?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you don't realise till you look back and see all the good names on the walls that you were lucky enough to drive such good horses for a long period of time, which boosts your career immensely. It's it's with, Dad's horses and then Andy's horses, and then we trained quite a few good ones as well. So like likes of Arden and them sort of horses, you're lucky to drive a good horse sometimes in your career, and to be able to have driven so many is pretty special.
Do you remember the time when you said, yeah, I belong out here? Like, was there a moment when you're in a good race, or it might have just been a race, I don't know, at Ararat or something, but do you remember when you sort of said, yeah, I can mix it with you guys and don't have to be intimidated? Do you remember like when you sort of become comfortable?
It took me a little while. I was sort of very shy young person, and didn't like to be in the limelight at all much, but that sort of came about because I was winning a lot of races and couldn't really avoid it. So you just sort of get used to it. But yeah, it's a good sport because everybody accepts you pretty well. It's a very equal playing field sport, and I've never really felt out of place ever, really.
I think it's one of the great things about harness racing. Now, I know New Zealand, and it's probably something that the Aussies need to look at as well for prostate cancer awareness. They're actually having a male-only drivers race because, you wouldn't see too many races now in Australia. In Australia, definitely here in Victoria, but most of all the other states as well, are so well represented by the ladies. It must be something for yourself. I know you don't want to say you've grown older, but when you started out, there wouldn't have been the ladies that there are now, and you must, I suppose, smile. And do you take a little bit of, pride in that?
Yeah, I think so. I get a lot of people say that when they're growing up, they wanted to be just like myself, and which I find a bit strange. But then you look back, and I guess they see me out there winning quite a bit, and inspire them to, go through the pony trots and become a driver and want to win races. So it's a pretty interesting thing for me to feel that I've helped a lot of people that way. But it's nice too. It's to be a role model for young girls and even young boys now growing up. It's sort of it's kind of a cool thing.
Well, I think it's actually great, and I said there before that I think your greatest attribute is you being you. You haven't changed. I think most people can attest to that. You've never got big-headed or arrogant about it, and I think that's probably one of the great things about harness racing. It can level you out pretty quickly too, can't it?
Yeah, for sure. You certainly. There's a lot more downs than ups, so I think you just need to enjoy the good times, because always around the corner there's a bad week or a bad day, and but you always think of things will turn around and you'll have a good day again soon. So it's very levelling.
Some of your achievements, and we saw the other day Sam Ottery's now become the most winningest female in New Zealand with 647, I think, and just past a good friend of yours, Nikki Chilcott. You yourself, you've had, 4,000 plus. You're the most winningest reins woman in the world, which, how does that make you feel? Like, when people say that, like there's, sort of none better. How does that make you feel?
I guess it's, again, as you get older, it sinks in a bit more as you find yourself struggling to win races some weeks, and you think about that, and it sort of it spurs you on again to keep getting out there and trying. And each winner gets me, as Greg Graves would say, a new world record every time I drive a winner. He likes to tell people that, and I guess it's right. But certainly to see the girls out there in New Zealand breaking the records, and it's good to see. I just happy to be a part of women in harness racing, because we're sort of getting out there and mixing it with the boys all the time now.
It's one of those things we do take for granted, because I know Lauren Trenton, she won the Invitational race the other day. She was the first lady to win that race, but they don't get anywhere near the goes as what we do here. And then you see, Timmy Tetrick and those guys are 7,000 winners plus, and driving all these massive amounts of winners, and yet the ladies can't get that go on, which is one of those I don't know, it's a strange thing. It's just great how, as I said, we take it for granted here in Oz.
Yeah, we do. It's a different world over there for the ladies to get drivers one and to win races. So I watched Lauren's interview, and I really enjoyed watching it, because they don't get a real crack at it sometimes. So glad that she's leading the way a bit too over there and showing that it can be done.
Let's try and get a trip away, Kezzy. Have you ever thought about going to America? Like, I mean, you've been overseas, and we'll get to that in a sec, but has America ever been on the radar? And, like, when I say that, to drive?
No, not particularly, but yeah, I guess having driven in Sweden, that it's you get sort of it's just a whole different vibe, and I guess America would be the same, but I don't think I'll lean back enough.
You're right. I'll get you a drive. We'll work it out. You and I. Well, don't worry about that. Any of the Americans watching this, we'll get it. Some of your notable harness racing drivers since 1992. We won't mention that because that might show the age, and I know that's a sore point, but that's okay. Surpassed 1,000 winners as a trainer in 2021. Training. Yeah, you've always trained, even back with Dad. I mean, it was, Dad was a trainer, but you guys work together as a team. Something you take your pride in, and the way you present day in, day out. Doesn't matter if it's the next race here at Ararat or if it is an Inter-Dominion final. They're always presented exactly the same, aren't they?
Yeah, try to, yeah. I love neat and tidy. Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with presenting them as best as you can, and I actually get a lot of comments from people of how nice my horses look, and that sort of makes you feel good that people notice that everything's in order, and doesn't make them run any faster, as my dad would say, but yeah, I think it's important to present them well.
It can be a bit frustrating, you're that fastidious, can't you?
Yeah, I can.
First female to win the New Zealand Cup, and I mean, that was... it was only 1 week, wasn't it? It was less than a week after Michelle Payne actually was the first female rider to win the Melbourne Cup as well. That is one achievement that can never be taken away from you. Do you look back fondly on that with Arden Ring?
Yeah, I do, yeah. It's certainly, to travel with the horses is hard enough at the best of times. So to win their best race, be the first female to do it, and with a horse that we trained, yeah, it was all pretty special. It's a special day that we'll never forget. And yeah, as Grant was a big part of that. He took the horse and looked after him, and he had all the more stress because he had to work him before the races, and he did such a good job with him. And yeah, it was a real team effort.
Well, that's training, full stop, and I think that's what you do. That's one of those ones. I think the older you get, the more you'll look back at that and realise exactly what you have been able to achieve, because it's a mighty effort back then. Winner of the International Women's Day All-Star Series in the Teal Ovarian Cancer Research in 2026. First female winner of the New Zealand Trotting Cup. First female winner of the New Zealand Trotting Cup 2015. What's that one?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I read that this morning, and I'll have to...
We should have proofed this before I came through. Okay, you're the first female driver to win the Australian Drivers' Premiership back in 2001. Again, another, that's probably one stat that we all forget about, I suppose, because the next year comes around and people go along, but you're the first there. First Australian female winner, Group 1 race in Europe, and with Just Believe over there now. It probably was about now, wasn't it, when you actually achieved that back in 1996 with Night Pistol. Wouldn't be far off this side of the time of year. Yeah,
it was maybe a little bit different. It was starting to get cold when that's why I left and came home, because it was getting too cold. But yeah, I've been watching with interest Greg and Jess's journey over there with Just Believe, because and it's amazing how many things I remember now that I've seen them. The names they've mentioned, and he's off to Bowden next weekend, and me and my mum travelled up there, and I think I drove a cold blood up there, and yeah, it's just brought back so many fond memories, and that you sort of forget about until you get refreshed.
Is it the sort of thing you'd like to do again?
Oh, don't know, maybe I'd like to go and maybe just watch the Elite Lop at one time. I'll take Grant. You can come too.
Deal. I can handle that. Next year or the year after, it'll be right. We'll go from there. And of course, sponsor and support pony trots. But I think that would only come back to giving back to the young kids, which is something you do quite happily.
Yeah, I like to sponsor Ararat and Stores pony trots when they ask me. Yeah, certainly, it's good for the kids to get out there, and it's the only way they learn when they're young, and to sponsor something like that's good. I get to give out the prizes at the end and to the happy faces.
Susie, you've been an ambassador with the Team Teal campaign since 2016. The Team Teal's been around since 2010. You've seen it grow and keep getting, I suppose, bigger and bigger as an ambassador. Is it something you take pride in, about how well received, I suppose, Teal Pants and the ovarian cancer awareness is here in Australia?
Yeah, it is. It's growing every year, and every year we seem to earn more and more money for the cause, and obviously that's the aim of the game. But it's to wear the colours is pretty special. You sort of you feel like you're getting the awareness out there, and all the ladies do such a wonderful job. We always seem to rally and drive so many winners in the time, and it's great to see on the tally all the teal pants.
It is amazing, and you say that, like, I think there's 16, 17 winners and things. You're not the leading female driver for that month. Like, it's ridiculous. It's great how they. You're right. I think the ladies step up. I'm not saying they don't try in the month of May or August or anything like that, but it just, I don't know. Like, it is a great part about harness racing. Awards and recognitions. We're here in Great Western. I said we're here at All Bends, but the sign out the front, it did have a name change there at one stage, but the sign, how long has the sign been out the front here at
2000? Yeah. 2000, I think.
Yeah. How did that make you feel the first time you drive back into Great Western? And it's a home of anyone that's not aware, it's a home of a very great winery and champagne. And you might have got married there actually, but to have your name on a town, how did that make you feel when you come into the town?
Now that was really weird. Took a while to learn to drive past it without feeling weird, but it's sort of as I get older, it makes you feel pretty good when you drive in town, and it's only been knocked over the one time, so and nobody's graffitied it, so, and not even you.
No. Well, I brought Anthony McDonald over here one day and we had to stop and go back to the sign. He actually wanted to go back. He said, seriously, he just thought that was great. Like a person from Canada, travels the world, and he just thought, how cool is that? And it is. These are the simple things. That's why I'm bringing them up. And I'll be honest, I'm cheating because I got these. Ladies Drivers Room, in honour at Tabcorp Park back in 2020. Gordon Rothicker medal winner. I was fortunate enough to be there. That it was an evening, I think, early evening, and that's just a terrific honour. That was at the MCG from memory.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, yep. Yeah. It was none the wiser to that coming. Big surprise. So yeah, it was a room full of peers that were. I thought, at the time, deserves it more than me, but certainly, it was a great honour again. A lot of things are pretty special that, now that you're mentioning them all, they're, pretty humbling.
And we're not going to be sexist, but it was a room full of males that night. And I remember when you were making your speech and you're looking around and you're like, this is really cool because, you cares, but it was just one of those things, like you say about the peers. There was some awesome horse people there. There was awesome writers and things along those lines as well. Journalists of harness racing, and it was very, very, I think, enormous. I didn't know this one. First female inducted into the Hall of Fame for harness racing. I didn't know that you were the first for that as well, which you're a lot of firsts, that's for sure.
Yeah, I know. It's hopefully I'm leading the way for more women to be inducted, hopefully. So, it's again, to be the first female is a pretty special achievement, and I'm very lucky to be able to be inducted.
Pearl Kelly Award winner, Vin Knight medal, Harness Racing Weekly 2000. Did you win the Vin Knight medal 2 years in a row, did you?
I did, yeah, yes. I got a car on one occasion and then they stopped the car, unfortunately. But that was pretty cool. That was sort of like, obviously the Midnight Medal was a bit like a Brownlow count, and back in its first few years, it was a pretty exciting evening to be out. And no, it was certainly. If
the camera gets knocked over, it's okay. He's allowed to get it. The Pearl Kelly, I didn't skip over it there before. I saw it there. I wanted to bring it back. The Pearl Kelly is about a lady who, and funnily enough, from this area. No, she wasn't. No, that's a lie. That was another lady, Laidlaw, but a lady that triumphed for women, to get women to be able to drive in harness racing and compete as men. So I would imagine that would be up there of one of the great highlights of the awards that you've been able to win.
Yeah, yes. That's quite a few years ago now, but certainly, I guess every award's pretty special, but that, that award in particular for women in harness racing is being from a lady that, like you said, has trailblazed to try and get women to be able to drive in races, and I just think I'm privileged to be able to be a part of the Pearl Kelly honour roll.
What's left for Kez? I mean, you're down in numbers at the minute, training horses, but I think you're actually enjoying it. You sort of have a bit of a tease there about potentially some travelling. You're going to stay in the industry as solidly as what you have been over the years, or are you going to sort of slow down a little bit? What are the plans for you?
Oh, look, it's certainly. I don't think I'm going anywhere. It's certainly have slowed down a bit. Numbers just more due to driving more a bit and having less time to do as many. And it's probably much more enjoyable to do less anyway. You get to spend more time.
Especially this time of year.
Yes, that's right, in the cold. So you get to spend more time on each horse, and rather than just rushing them through. So I just enjoy getting a winner when I can, and happy to just ticking along.
You're doing a lot more freelance driving now. Are you enjoying that again? I know you really wound back there at one stage because it probably fries you a little bit. Are you back enjoying it again now, though?
Yeah, I think so. It's certainly, as you know, it's not an easy thing to do just to for your mental health. Some days, some weeks, you just don't want to do it anymore. But then, like I said, you have a good week and drive a few winners, and it really boosts you back up and gets you wanting to get out there and do it again. So, I think, I like to drive outside horses. It's sort of a bit of a buzz, and when you come home, you don't have to put them away. That's a big bonus too. You just go inside. But it's certainly, I'm happy to just keep driving horses for anyone who wants me to drive horses and training my few.
Just remember that when you say no to me, okay? So yeah, she says that a lot to me. Don't worry about that. I think I'm the easy one to say no to, so I don't have to worry. Your first winner, you said there before, your first winner was after 3 drives. Do you remember which horse it was and where it was?
Yeah, Gorgeous Gambit, one of my Uncle Kevin Burns's at Ararat. So her first run was at Stall, same horse I drove my first drive, and then 3 drives later.
Yeah.
So that's good. Good to get it out of the way.
How do you celebrate getting an OAM? Are you going to celebrate, or are you just going to have a quiet night at home? I know Granny's away until tomorrow, but have you got any plans to celebrate, or are you just going to be pretty low key as you do?
Probably low key. Probably I've got a steak there to cook tonight. me and the dog and the cats, and hopefully we might have to go out for dinner. Maybe next weekend, hopefully on the Sunday or something. So that'd be good.
You got Barb's.
Or roasted Babs. That's always good.
Is there roasted Babs coming up?
I hope so.
I might come back for these. No, she made you the cookies too today.
Yeah, Chocky Rocks.
Yeah, to celebrate. That's the way we do it up here. What did Dad say to you?
He's funny. He doesn't say much, but he was. He saw Jade, who was helping me out today up the track, and told Jade he had to bow to me today. And Jade was like, "Why?" He didn't know until Dad told him. So if Dad's telling people something, he must be proud.
He's proud of all his kids, as his mum, and I can safely say they were down there playing Scrabble. It wasn't like there was anything highfalutin going on today, and I think that's a great thing, Kezi. And I think that's what I think's so infectious to you about you. With so many people, is that you are just you, even with Nelson. This is the most media time Nelson's ever had. I
know, he's never been famous. He won one race at Bort when he was 2 or 3, and now he's 26, so he's lovely.
Just quickly on that, because you all got it. How many, this is going to be a touchy subject in a way, how many retired horses do we have on the place?
There's a few. There's the Aardvark, the Marksman, Albans, and Nelson, and then down the other back paddock, there's Axel, the Pale-Faced Warrior.
There's about 4 down there, I think. Nobby. Don't forget Nob.
Yeah, he's going. Janet XL's going to take him shortly and take him to the Royal Adelaide show. So that'll be good. And then, the 2 sports riders, Raz's Veyron. He's going to be a riding horse soon, maybe, and the sports star. So, but he's still a racehorse officially. He's just got to get back into work at some point. 2 of those horses. If your niece is watching this, which is my daughter, she's got to take over those 2, doesn't she? That's right. I'm waiting. Waiting patiently. There's a few ponies. But you also have, I was going to say, a love for the miniature ponies. You just dead set love animals, don't you? Yeah, they're pretty cool. I love animals. They're just, they're nice. You're having a bad day and you go visit one of them, and makes you put a smile back on your face. Those little ones, I don't know how you come up with that, but that's okay. Kezi, thank you.
congratulations. I think it's a mighty achievement for any person. There's a lot of other people who would have been honoured as well today, but to be the first, I think you're the first harness person to get a King's Award because yes, because I don't think there's too many other people alive since the last King was in reign. But I don't know too many other harness people. We believe there's one other person in this street, which is a bit deflating, isn't it? You're not even the first person in this street. It's a bit deflating. But well done and congratulations. And do me a favour, don't stop being you, will you?
I'll never.
Thanks, Kez.
Thank you.